In the game Destiny, the Traveler is a mysterious alien sphere that's protecting the last city. But what if the Traveler were real? The actual dimensions of the Traveler are a lot harder to find than you might think, and from some promotional art, it is depicted in various sizes. Anything from 300 kilometers in diameter to 30 kilometers in diameter. The Traveler is described as a city-sized entity, and looking at the top largest cities across the world, let's say the Traveler is about 100 kilometers across with a mass of around 114 quadrillion kilograms, and taking up about 524 trillion cubic meters. Next to the tallest mountains, deepest trenches, and human-built objects, the Traveler would be quite a sight to see. Though in astronomical terms, the Traveler is rather inconsequential. In fact, seeing the Traveler so close, it helps put a scale to the solar system in a way humans traditionally have had a hard time doing. So, how does an object this big simply hover above Earth? With a mass of 114 quadrillion kilograms, you can imagine it gets pretty difficult to manage. You would need about 63 million SpaceX Falcon 9 heavy rocket systems, each with a liftoff thrust of 4 million pounds. Considering the exhaust would exit at a velocity between 2200 and 4500 meters per second, with a temperature of a couple thousand degrees Celsius, if the last city was directly below it, it wouldn't be a city for very much longer. If there were any movement of the Traveler, it would likely be impossible to stabilize. This is because rockets require sophisticated algorithms and processing for even straight vertical paths. On Earth, it would be an amazingly easy target for really anyone who wanted to cause issues. Sitting anywhere from 600 kilometers to 23 kilometers from the Earth's surface, if the thrusters were to burn out, it could smash into the Earth at a peak velocity of 715 meters per second with a force of 1.2 quintillion newtons. The scary part is that it would take just over a minute to actually impact with 7 million megatons of energy, which is about 7% as much as the asteroid that killed off all the dinosaurs contained. Because alien technology is something in which I know nothing about, it might be more important to concern ourselves with what the human impact would be from alien life as opposed to proving or disproving space magic. Humans may simply not be capable of understanding the Traveler. We would probably be able to tell what it was made out of, but it's highly unlikely we would even understand its purpose or function. We wouldn't understand its motives or technology any more than an ant would understand the motives of a rocket ship. If the Traveler traverses the cosmos from planet to planet, it would likely pick up microbial life along the way. A big thing you hear in science fiction movies and books are the lethality of bacteria and viruses. Viruses evolve specifically to attack a particular type of cell or organism. Earthborn viruses know Earthborn cells very well. They know where to attach, how to attack, and how to take over. In humans, we may not have the same cell material, cell structure, or cell vulnerabilities alien viruses would be accustomed to. And this is only concerning the case in which alien viruses attack in a similar way to native viruses attack. Life on Earth formed in a very particular way to survive in the conditions presented. On an alien planet, there would be different conditions and therefore different biological structures. It isn't fully known how universal life is across the universe, but from small changes in the types of life on Earth, we would likely not have to worry about microbial alien life. It's the life that has the abilities to follow the Traveler to Earth that would pose the biggest problem.